Today we are going back to the early days of Mega Man Maker with this stage. And well, it was definitely the wild, wild west in those early days. So let's take a look and see what this one brings to the table and see if it's still worth revisiting today. This was a rough one. This was a rough stage design with a layout that was pretty unremarkable, all things given, at least for the upper route. I didn't check out the lower route, so I couldn't tell you if that was any different. And then the latter half, switching to ice and spikes, just really didn't do the stage any favors. It wasn't wasn't well put together, and it just really did not come together well. The enemy placement was pretty awful. I'm just going to be honest with this one. It was very heavy, very cluttered, and was very frustrating to try and get through. And adding so many enemies does not make the stage more difficult. If anything, it just makes it more frustrating to get through. When it comes to the power-up usage, there was definitely use for the charge kick in particular with getting through some of the different traps and obstacles scattered throughout the stage. And also, admittedly, Firestorm and the Elect Beam was needed to try and mow through the absurdly large amount of enemies, especially tadpoles, scattered throughout the stage. So at least in that aspect of things, the power-ups did serve a overall purpose to the stage. The boss will try to spice things up with both the hothead as well as the walls being covered in spikes, but none of it really did anything to make the fight against Nightman more difficult, and was really kind of pointless to the fight. What you're looking at is a standard fight with one random enemy up above, and it didn't work. Ultimately, despite the age of this stage, it's still a very poorly designed stage. While I give it props for giving two different paths to take, at least there in the beginning, the enemy placement is abhorrent. Just being overly heavy and frustrating to try and get through. And even then, the stage design itself wasn't great either. This is just one of those stages that is just poorly designed from top to bottom. And while it's not the worst stage I've ever played, it's still pretty bad.